And the heat and the smoke and the noise of the engine, like this race is gonna be rough. You might say that it was taking it cool when Petty was trying to pass. Oh, but don't you wager that he shows speed when he holds down on the gas. Now the race is on and here comes Earl at the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside. Yarbrough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Baker's out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second, 'cause 52 just passed. One day Earl ventured out to race, never once suspecting what the final result would be. Picking up a second prize for himself and even beating his friend Marty. There's an ache and a pain in his feet for a while, and his pit crew's the best in the race. Petty came out the winner, Earl came out in second place. And the race is on and here comes Earl up the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside. Yarbrough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Baker's out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second, 'cause 52 just passed. Now the race is on and here comes Earl at the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside.
My name's Rick Lennox. I'm Harvey Lennox's son. This is my cousin Steve, race fan from way back, obviously big family member. We've got a bunch of display here. We have photographs and trophies way back from the 50s right through the 70s when Dad stopped racing. Got his helmet, some trophies, fire suit. We actually have Tammy 10 wallpaper here, some of the old wallpaper that you'd buy at Sunworthy back in the 60s. We actually have a roll of the wallpaper here. And left front tire off of Tammy 10 there, and just lots of things for the people to see.
Right on.
A roll of it here. And these are the two photographs that wallpaper was taken from. This was opening night at Flamborough Speedway in 1962, and that's Dad in full color here. The car in the background that's black and white is actually Gordon Johncock. His car was red and white, and he went on and won the Indy 500 twice.
Oh, no way.
And Dad's
Cool.
in color, and he's in black and white.
Right on. So did you go on to race yourself at all?
I did just for a few years, not nearly as long or nearly as successful as my dad.
Okay.
This was my car back in Delaware in the 70s,
Okay.
and I ran from 74 to 77.
All right.
And then it was when I discovered racing's a rich man's sport, and I'm not a rich man.
Right on. Thank you.
Earl ventured out to race, never once suspecting what the final result would be. Picking up a second prize for himself and even beating his friend Marty. There's an ache and a pain in his feet for a while, and his pit crew's the best in the race. Petty came out the winner, Earl came out in second place. And the race is on and here comes Earl up the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside. Yarbrough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Baker's out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second, 'cause 52 just passed. Now the race is on and here comes Earl at the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside. Yarbrough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Baker's out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second.
In 1966, the three local tracks, Nilestown, Delaware, and Flamborough, put up a point fund between the three, and Bill Daniels Motors put up the pace car, and they were so kind as to award the pace car to the winner of the championship that year. And Dad won both Delaware and Nilestown, and was second at Flamborough, so he won the overall championship. And that was the pace car that he won.
Oh, that's cool. Very
I
cool.
was only 14 when he won that. And it had a 289 with a 3 on the tree on it. And he sold it before he turned 16 because he thought he might get in trouble and bought me a 61 Volkswagen Beetle instead.
Ah, very cool. Thank you.
I've been around racing since day one because my dad was the original announcer at Elsie Craig, Delaware, Nilestown, and owned St. Thomas Speedway.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Like the drag strip?
No.
No?
The stock car track.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we used to go there on a holiday weekend. You'd hit 5 tracks, and I wasn't old enough to be down in the pits, but there was no radio system, so my job was to run the lineup
Ah,
up
that's
and down the grandstand.
oh, very good, very good.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is quite a setup you have here. How many years did it take you to accumulate all this stuff?
Well, 30 at least.
30 at least.
Yeah.
Wow, you've got a lot of memorabilia.
That's my very first race car right there. Picture, the die cast.
Over here. Right on. Number 88, that was your
Yeah.
number?
Yeah.
Right on. So I see a lot of Coca-Cola stuff here. Big Coca-Cola,
Yeah. Pepsi's back in the corner.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
old jukebox there. Does that work?
No, actually, it's a cassette player.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
And then there's an 8-track.
The old 8 tracks, oh yeah.
Yeah. It works, but I got no speakers hooked up to it.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, this is some of Earl's first cars. That's the NASCAR one. And then that's Pinecrest. These are all feature front of programs back then. And around here we have a picture of Earl and the crew with President
I'm just a race fan. When I discovered about Earl Ross somewhere in the 90s, I think at a cast car race, I became an Earl Ross fan. And that's how I got the autographs. I bought the ticket stubs online in 1995, maybe. And those are the ticket stubs from the race Earl won in Martinsville.
Right on. All right, thanks. Where are you from, Bill?
Orangeville.
Orangeville. All right. Thank you.
But drove in from Brockville last night.
Nice. All right.
Through the night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Ken Gross from Bad Daddy Customs, one of the official sponsors of the memorial. Just getting to meet everybody. I'm not too familiar with a whole lot of people. I'm quite a bit younger.
Right on. Right on.
Just getting acquainted.
All right. Your name?
Rob Watson.
Oh, Rob.
I was with Champion Sparkplug back in the early days and involved with an awful lot of racing. Anything that had an engine, they found to them. We'd usually be there to watch them race.
Okay.
More recently, got involved with Kenny and wrote a book about the NASCAR team. So that's what we're here.
Oh, is that right? And that's this book right here?
That's the book. Yep.
Very cool.
And it's available now.
All right.
Tells the whole story, or at least what Ken would tell me. So.
Yeah. Right on. And you're looking very good in your outfit there. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Deanna McKeegan. I'm Kenny McKeegan's wife.
Okay.
Who was the crew chief for Earl. My brother's Billy Daniels.
Okay.
So I come from a long line of racers.
All right. Right
My
on.
dad raced, my mom raced, my brother raced, my husband raced. Here I
Right
am.
into the racing. All right. Thanks. Petty Avenue. Okay, so you have a great story, I hear. Let's hear it.
Well, it was a story back when we were kids down at Delaware Speedway. Ross Sedell's car, which is parked out front here, was coming around turn 3-4 and lost the right front. Well, the right front bounced over the little catch fence and started coming up the hill. And I was sitting right there, and this young fella, back when you could still park your car at the edge of the hill at Delaware, had this really fancy street car there. And that tire was coming right for his street car. And he stood there like this and took that tire right in the chest, and it took him right up over his car.
Get out!
Yeah, we never did find out what happened to him because everybody rushed over there and we couldn't get to him. But yeah, that was Ross Sedell's story that I remember from 50 years ago, maybe. I don't know how long ago, but it was a long time ago.
That is awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very, and your name again?
Oh, it's Wayne Thornton.
Wayne Thornton.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Wayne.
Okay.
Okay, bye now. Go ahead. What's that again?
I like that. I like that introduction.
Okay, so say it again. I wasn't videoing.
I'll say it again.
Okay.
This is Liz, Earl Ross's middle daughter, and she's a troublemaker.
Okay.
And this is Lisa, the youngest daughter, who's very bossy.
It's true.
Tell me some stuff about your dad. Tell me.
Oh, my dad was very much a family man.
Yes.
He was all about his family. He loved to race and play golf.
Is that right?
Yeah, and
Yes.
he liked to watch them both on TV, and there is nothing more boring than
Golf.
just when the race is getting good, he switched to golf.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you guys would have went to the track a lot, I take it?
Yeah.
We grew up there.
Grew up at the track.
We learned redneck at the racetrack.
Did you guys race at all yourselves?
No.
Never did, eh?
We were cast car officials for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about your kids or anything? You guys have kids? Did they get into it?
Yes, but none of them raced.
None of them raced?
No.
And we're spread.
My
We have
son
another
likes to go fast, but usually where he shouldn't.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
There's
awesome.
a bunch of lead feet.
This is my daughter, Catherine.
Okay, hi.
Yep.
So this is a granddaughter to Earl Ross,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, hi.
Yep.
Hi.
And her daughter Ellie.
Hi, how you doing?
Granddaughter Ellie.
And this is my daughter Ellie, which is Earl's great-granddaughter.
Great
Can you
daughter.
say hi, Ellie? She's shy.
Well, this is a pretty cool event, don't you think?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Built in a lot.
Today, tell me about yourselves, guys.
Jock's daughter.
Okay,
We're both pretty excited to be here, to be invited to participate in this.
Okay.
And, I think we're both proud and happy to help, present this exhibit of my dad, his uncle, Jack Monahan.
Jack Monahan. Okay, so
This is my dad, Ken Johnson.
okay,
He raced at Delaware and NASCAR in the 80s.
okay.
Actually, Delaware in the 70s as well. He's known actually as the first NASCAR champion in 1986.
Okay.
Trophies right here. Yeah, it's won a few races. Known as a very gentlemanly driver.
Now, did you race yourself at all? No, you never did.
Can't
eh?
afford it.
Okay. All right, thank you.
No problem.
fundraiser for the Elsa Craig Museum. Let me give you a little background on what's going on here today. Bill Daniels happened to go into the Elsie Craig Museum, and lo and behold, nowhere in the museum was there anything about Elsie Craig's most famous citizen, Earl Ross. Nowhere. So Bill decided, hey, we're going to do something about this. And did he do something about this? Look around here. Isn't this amazing? I didn't realize how much stuff people have kept over the years. Like I'm looking over here at Copperhead, for crying out loud. Copperhead hasn't raced in 60 years. And there's all the memorabilia there, the McCutcheon car, Earl Ross. Look at this, they got their whole village over here that they got laid out. And I'm told some of the stuff may have even been damaged in a flood. Bill Daniels has got his stuff here, but Bill's done an amazing job putting this thing together, and all the old guys are here. My son said to me, I don't want to go to an event where all the 100-year-old racers are standing around. I thought, well, I could go around this room and tell stories. I see guys I can tell stories on all the way around this room, but I'm not going to do that. First thing I want to do is, apparently, John Stennebaugh. Is John Stennebaugh in the house?
Trying to hustle your wife.
Apparently John Stennebaugh has something to do up here on the stage with something. Is it a silent auction or what is it, John? I'm going to turn the mic over to you. In case anybody doesn't know, John Stennebaugh knows everybody in the world. He can walk into a bar in Amarillo, Texas and say, how you doing, Bob? I haven't seen you in a while. John, I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you do your thing here.
Folks, unfortunately, I won't be able to be here for the auction, but there is a piece of man cave garage art enclosed in this package here. It's a one-of, and it'll be the first item in the auction. And it's from a Motorsports Hall of Fame member. And with it, there's a picture of a Mustang here. And a dear friend of mine that passed away 3 years ago, down in Dayton, Ohio, Gail Alderman designed the Ford Mustang. How many people in this room have owned a Mustang or raced one over the years? Well, this gentleman here, Gail Alderman, designed the Ford Mustang, became the youngest designer in the world at the age of 36, continued as a Ford employee to his death. Few people in this room have been down to his place. The consummate gentleman. This is an autographed picture that goes with this invaluable piece of wall art. So keep that in mind when the auction starts. Something very special in here from a guy that has done everything in racing, probably a lot of things and other things he shouldn't have done, but anyway, we won't go there because that might identify him. But anyway, remember, when you start to bid, this is priceless. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Now, I got to say, before I bring some guest speakers up here, I look around this room and I see 10,000 feature wins on stock car tracks, okay? I see about 500 track championships, race series championships, but what I see is about $1 billion spent on race cars with this group in here. And the interesting part is, of that $1 billion, probably about a quarter went to a guy who's not here today, Edward James Hanley Jr. from Oakville, Ontario. Junior couldn't make it. He's feeling a little down in the dumps right now, but I bugged him all week, and Rita kept saying she's going to work on him, but we couldn't get him. So, as far as I know, he's not coming. Anyway, come on up here. Bill Daniels, come on down. Paging Bill Daniels. He's on his break. You've been on that all your life, Daniels. Come on. Yeah, in the old days you would have jumped up. So would we, Kenny. That ship has sailed, unfortunately.
On behalf of Ken and I and Stan, I would like to present Bill with a little gift for putting this on and all the work he has done. It's just a little token of thanks.
picture of him before he crashed his car.
Not this Mathers.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, that's great, Bill. Do you want to say a few words, Bill? No, you don't? I'm sure the guy beside you is going to say a few words.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great job. Ken McKeegan, never met a microphone he didn't like.
Can I hit you with it? Thank you all for coming. This is tremendous. I said to Bill, we really need name tags because a bunch of you people got old, and I don't know how that happened. Not me. Johnny asked me to tell a couple of stories. Well, we could be here for about 2 weeks telling stories between Stan and I. So when this whole deal went together, and by the way, there's a book back there we just finally got out today. It's got the whole thing from start to finish. But when this thing went together, the long story, when I got hooked up with Carlins, he said to me, okay, he said, who's the driver? And the other guy and I had been discussing back and forth, and he looked like he was going to win the argument. But then we parted ways, and so you got the guy from Carlins said, well, who's the driver? And I said, I need to know his name, the size, and we're going to have a press conference on Friday at the jury. So there's about, I didn't have any idea who the crew was going to be other than one of my brothers. And so anyway, I said, well, it's Earl Ross. And then so the guy raced down. And so the deal went together. We had the thing on Friday. But I called Earl up and I said, how'd you like to drive a car at Daytona in February? And he said, have you got one? I said, yeah. And he said, you got any motors? I said, I got 2 motors. And this was Bobby Allison stuff. We'd been down there and already had ordered the car and the 2 motors. So anyway, he starts asking me a whole bunch of questions. And he's always putting jokes on people, always. I said, well, if you don't want to do it, I'll get somebody else. And I hung up. And I took the phone off the hook for about 10 minutes. And I hung it up, and he came in, and it rang me, and he said, you SOB, he said, don't you even think about giving that to somebody else. Anyway, the deal went together, and we had more fun. We were serious about it. But I think the reason we were successful because we had such a great group of guys that worked, just outworked everybody. But there's so many things going on behind the scenes. We just laughed constantly. We were always laughing. And anybody that's involved with a sports team or a race team or whatever, all know that the funny stuff is what happens after the races or in your shop or whatever. So there's some stories that can't hold it. But one of the ones that come to mind was Earl had all the cars every time we used rental cars. Then they got treated awful. We were bumping and banging and then people and just a whole bunch of things going on. So he went into Atlanta early one day and he had some kind of an appearance somewhere. So he's driving a rental car and he went down to underground Atlanta. Now that's one of the 4 blocks that's built underneath the street. And it's all bars and specialty shops and stuff like that. So he went down there and took his. Just took enough money with him to go and have a couple of drinks. He was meeting some Kale, I think, down there. So anyway, we got down, he walked back out, and he can't find his car. It's in a parking lot somewhere. He didn't even know what he was driving. So he walked around, and somebody picked him up and gave him a ride around. He couldn't find him. So anyway, he went back to the motel. He never did find that car. So I know after that, Avis would never rent him another car. But his wallet and his briefcase were in that thing. So they found the car about a month later, and they sent it to him. But we never let him forget that. That's one of the first things that as soon as we start talking, say, Earl, have you lost any cars lately? So we were going in the airport that day, and he said to me, he said, what's a Dodge Dart look like? I said, he didn't know that. Was he looking? Stan, you want to say something?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that took time out to be here today, and you certainly have to work on the memory a little bit to get everybody's names here, or a few of them. And I'd like to say that it was a pleasure to went down south racing, but before that, Earl had pretty well established himself.
I don't know if you got a copy when you came in, but Greg McPherson from Inside Track Motorsports News donated 100 copies of the latest edition of Inside Track, and in there is my story about the Carling racing team. Just sheer coincidence that it came up. It was printed on Wednesday and this deal was on Saturday. It wasn't planned that way, it just good clean living, right, Jim? Anyway, make sure you pick up a copy. And in there I mentioned that Stan was the jack man, and back in those days, Stan was a pretty big boy. And my running joke with Stan was, you don't need a jack, you can just pick the car up, because that was tough back then. Anyway, I guess John Stenbaug's got something else to say.
I have a brief McKeegan story and I have a brief Earl Ross story. The McKeegan story is one time I was heading back from Port Franks, and there happened to be a Willys drag car on an Erin Road doing burnouts up and down the road, and I think those boys were responsible. I think that was before stock car racing. Anyway, my Earl story was back in the 90s. I got a letter in the mail one day. This has nothing to do with racing, and it was jury duty in London. So you got to make an excuse up. You don't want to waste your time with jury duty. So it was, with me, it was going to be, I'm very prejudiced, death penalty for parking tickets, that kind of stuff. I'll get off. I'm walking in the door, and he comes up and taps me on the shoulder, but Earl. He says, oh, you're stuck with this crap too. I said, yeah. So we sat down. Last seats are there, or front row. Magistrates up here, and all those people are going to be jurists potentially there. So we're yakking back and forth. The judge says, court's coming to order. Could you please cut out the chat? He pointed specifically at the two of us because we're laughing and having some laughs about everything other than racing. So we continued to chat a bit. The judge says, cut it out now or you're going to be spending the night in jail. And Earl looked at me with a grin on his face. He said, I wonder what they're serving for something.
I'm Ron Walker. I'm involved in the museum. I've been involved for 25 years, and I appreciate what you had to say, but I have to correct a couple of things. We did have Earl Ross stuff in the museum, but you can see that, we couldn't get our hands on much of it. So we did have some Earl Ross stuff in the museum, and we would really be amiss if we didn't recognize Shauna Pickering and Charlene Pickering for helping to put this together, because boy, they put 150% into this. Bill's done a wonderful job, but behind the scenes, Charlene and Shauna really put a lot of work into this, so thank you for all your effort.
There you go. Anyway, I'm not sure what Bill has got planned for later on, but now you can walk around. The displays are amazing. Lots of cool people to talk to, so enjoy.
He's had a lot of autographs that my sister's got years ago. I'm a Jack McCutcheon's daughter. Oh, that's all his. Yeah, you haven't gone around that way yet. Go ahead. Yeah, so, yes. Who was the other Howard engaged? Against Dad Jimmy? I can remember. I'm like, oh, I was just little.
Now there's a drive coming up behind, like the next curve's gonna be tough. And the heat and the smoke and the noise of the engine, like this race is gonna be rough. You might say that it was taking it cool when Petty was trying to pass. Oh, but don't you wager that he shows speed when he holds down on the gas. Now the race is on and here comes Earl at the backstretch. Pearson's going to the inside. Yarbrough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Baker's out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second, 'cause 52 just passed.
Professional steel fitter. God, I wouldn't take that thing out.
I'll tell you, I went to Michigan here about 4 years ago and drove one of their stock cars. They strap you in, and they turn around and they say, exhale, you exhale, they refund it. I can hardly believe it. And but when
I got 178 mile an hour laps on the tank. And you're around and driving and you're just close to the wall, man. I'll tell you, it takes nerve. And I don't know how those guys do 200 laps because I had a hell of a time doing 20.
Here's sons are going to the inside. Yarborough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Taking us out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second. Does 52 just pass? Now the race is on. Here comes Earl at the backstretch. Here's sons are going to the inside. Yarborough's slipping out, trying hard to pass. Lakers out of the running. Allison's stepping on the gas. The race is on and it looks like a second. Does 52 just pass?
And it's kind of neat. It's all the way from 1961. And you can hear the engines compared to what they have today. It's a little meek and mild. But anyway, they were coming along. So here we go.
From the fence of Pinecrest Speedway on the 9th of September 1961, where we're having a real exciting night racing. So the pizza lineup goes on the board now. We'll be with you momentarily. Car number 66, Sonny Hugh Brown, all point. Car number 66, John Summerall, Porterberry. Car number 3, Cliff Dodds, Luke Ron, Fabrication and Motor System McCall. Car number 40, Bob Finley, Al Oshawa. Car number 34, Jerry Watson of Cookville Riding for Evergreen Auto.
These cars were leaving the track. He came in, tore both fenders off the stool. Shit, crew cab. I was there, I'll never forget it. You were probably there too. Peter, the story's over there on the table, no Peter. Anyway, autograph session is starting now, folks. You want to work your way around if you're looking for autographs. We got a whole bunch of famous racers here, including some drag racers. I guess they want me to walk around and introduce the famous drivers. Will Fargo. Right next to him, Scott Wilson. Time Machine, another drag racer. Bill Prince. Oh my God, Bill Prince. He owned Delaware way back in the 70s. Carl Mellish. And then the Patrick team from downtown Delaware, Ontario, Patrick's Lumber Mill. So if you're looking for autographs, they've got them. But you gotta help me out here. Jim, are you not signing autographs? Oh, I am, okay. Don, how are you? A couple of guys here I don't know. I probably knew him 100 years ago. Ross Liddell. Ross Liddell. Oh my goodness. That name goes a long way back. So who do we got here? Pardon me? Carter Nickel. Be beside him, some kid I've never heard of before. Started racing when he was 4 years old. Started driving heavy trucks when he was 6 years old. DJ Kennington. The old crew chief of the Carling team, Kenny McKeegan. I won't hand him the mic because it'll take forever. You got some more signatures somewhere else for years, and it's great. This is just awesome. I thought John Cornell's deal at Nilestown was great. This moves it up a bit. Indoors, amazing. Sitting here today, what are you now, Al? 94? 94? 94 and a half years old. I guess when you get older, you start counting half years again. You did that when you were a kid, Al. I'm like 6.5 years old, soon to be 6 3/4. Al Kirk wrote super modifieds back in the day, and he still smiles on me now. Good to see you, Al. Matt, what do you think of the show?
I'm so happy to Bill and Lee for all the work they were doing.
I don't recognize that in the face and I can't remember. What was that?
I went down to a sweet old lake.
That's what I'm doing at one time. After. Huh? After. Yeah. I knew he owned that car. Did he buy that car? Yeah. Or bought that car? And who drove that car after he bought it?
I think John, and then Charlie McKinnon drove.
When Norton drove it, Mark was on the
No. No, John was the car. And at the end,
What do you want to get? What do you want to get ready for?
First of all, tell me who you are. And
Bill Prince.
Bill Prince. Okay, Bill, you're going to tell us some stories about driving with Earl?
Well, number one is he always beat me.
Yeah.
And number two, he was a really good guy, and he gave lots of information to the other drivers. And we bought one of his Carling cars, and he took me for a little ride at Delaware on the spare seat that wasn't there.
Okay.
And I don't think I ever gone into number one turn so fast in my life.
All right.
And I drove super modified, but he was moving. So, yeah, and Earl came along with some of the other older drivers when we were running the Speedway and trying to get some information on what the fans would like because they paid the bill.
Yeah.
And no, just all in all, Earl did really well in NASCAR. He was a good promoter for the racetracks, and yeah, just a great guy.
And how old were you when you started racing?
19.
19? So how long did you know Earl? From when he was young too?
Well, I was running in the super modifieds, and Earl was running, I think, originally in the compacts, and then he went to late model, and then he got into NASCAR.
Oh, very good.
Which was great for him. Jack Reedy helped him along the way a little bit, and Carling's sure kicked in to help out. And speaking with some of the older NASCAR drivers in Florida, that they all had good things to say about him too. So.
It must have been a different way getting into racing back then than nowadays, eh? Probably a lot different.
You could get into super modified in 1963 for about $5,000. You're not going to be a top runner, but now you're looking at 50,000 plus.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, thanks so much. All right,
you're welcome.
You take care. Okay, start from the beginning of that again. We missed that part.
Well, when I was 19 years old, a fellow owed me a bit of money, so he gave me a old super modified racetrack that wasn't much. And the next year my brother bought one from Vic Robley, and we ran that for 3 years, and then my brother built another car, and we ran that for 4 years, and with some success, and we went over to Oswego for a couple of races and did fairly well there. Then I got out of the super modified and into the late model for a couple of years. And my buddy and I were looking for something to do, and we bought the lease from Jack Reedy on the Delaware Speedway.
Okay. What year was that? Did you buy?
76.
76. Bought Delaware. Okay.
And after about 2 years there, my trucking business was going downhill a bit, so I left there and went full-time on the trucking and brought that back.
Okay.
And that was the end of my racing. I still ran tours to Daytona 500 and Michigan 400, and still stay involved in racing, and I still love it today.
That's awesome. All right, thanks.
You're a car owner of a street stock for a couple of years?
Well, yes, I had a street stock for my son for a couple of years.
So you raced some street stock for a bit?
Yep, from 2000 to 2000. Sorry, from 90 to 96, I ran street stock.
Okay. Out of Delaware?
Yep, Delaware.
Right on.
Dad owned it, and I drove it.
Very cool. All right, that's awesome, guys. Thanks so much. All right. me about this jacket.
The jacket is from the 70s when they ran Friday nights in Cuba.
Oh, yeah? I'm just shooting a bit of video here for just kind of documenting the day.
Would you like me to put it on the pocket? All right. So this jacket, I had this back in the 70s, and it used to be Export A, and NASCAR used to sponsor down at Cuga, and then we used to go every Friday night. But anyway, I've got all the drivers, you know, Bradley Hanley, Dick Parsons, Bill Burrows, Wayne King, he's supposed to be here today, Bill Zardo, Donnie Hahn, Harold Brown. So it's kind of neat. What I'm going to do is frame it and put it in the next
You know the sticker.
So this fellow has an audio.
Okay, yeah.
The beginning of a race.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we could read.
Figured out.
About 10 or 15 minutes. I didn't know if we could try and squeeze it in somewhere.
Sure.
So,
Thank you, Sean. My name is Murray McLean, and we've been privileged to ask to help raise some money for the Historical Society Day. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. One comment, the people that are in that back area, at the back where it's low, it's awful hard to hear back in there. If we could come out front a little bit, it helps with the noise listening anyway. I too would like to thank Bill Daniels for all the hard work he's put in making this come together for everybody. Thank you very much, Bill. It's a ton of work he's done, and the town is very appreciative. The North Middlesex Historical Society has done a lot of volunteer work here. We do thank all of them. One of the Robin Tiller, the chief sponsor of this, will also do thank. Hollisand Ranch, when we sell something, one of these gentlemen in the red jacket hat will get you to sign your name and your phone number, and it'll go to the back corner where you pay at the end of the sale, and then you can pick up your items. We haven't got much more to say, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, we're going to start off. We have a mystery item here, ladies and gentlemen. First item up for sale today is a mystery item. It says on it, this rare piece of broad art to kept sealed until sold. A must-have for any racing fan or racer. It is a one-off. I don't know how many dollars for it. One other thing I'd like to say about Elsie Craig is quite a racing town. Car racing, we've had a lot of racing families from here. Horse racing too. Car racing, the racetrack used to be just back behind the community center here down over the hill. There was, of course, Shipway boys, the Beacon boys, Earl came to town, Ken Johnson, and many others I missed. And the next generation is the Thompsons. So racing's like a big part in this town. We rode Saturday nights on Main Street. Many of the articles we're going to sell are framing quality, frame them, hang them in your record or your man cave. First up though, this mystery item here. How about $25 on it? Anybody want to $25 on the mystery item? It's from a Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame member, ladies and gentlemen, on this mystery piece here. How many dollars on it? How about 25? Start away 25. It's a mystery. I have no idea. 25, not 30, not 40. Not 40, I got $30, not 40. 40, not 50. Not 50 and 60. I got 50, gonna be no 60. That 50 gonna be no 60. Anybody else is 60. 50 gonna be no 60. 60. Now 70. Now 70. 60 gonna be no 70. Last time $70. So we're going to tell me, now 80. Now 80 until they go to the 80. Somebody go to the 88, put it in. Anybody else, eh? So right down here, $70. Right back there, hold your hand up and let's see your man here come and get your Tim. Sweatshirt. How about $20? How about $20 on the sweatshirt? Give me 10 aside. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, sweatshirt. 5 minutes, 7 and a half. We got 5 of them,
$5 bid, no $7.5. Box forward, $7.5. $5 bid, no $7.5. Anybody else $7.5? Pound. Here's the young lady over here, $7.50. Next up is 1982 Jack Spin sign print on frame, Mexico, 1948, 1930, excuse me, on the Mexico print pen, $10 on the print, $10.5, $5 on the print, $5 bid, $7.5, $5 bid, no $7.5, they want $7.5, $10, $7 bid, no $10, bring us $7 bid, no $10, $10, $10 on the Mexico on frame print, $10, $10 bid, no $10, $7 bid, no $10, $10 on $10.5, $10 on bid, no $10.5, $10 on bid, no $10.5, everybody else $10, $10 on bid, no $10.5. Anybody else $7.5? Pound. $7.5. We can $5 bid, no $7.5. Anybody else $5 bid, no $7.5? So Rose Ray, $5. Right down fast. They were on their set on the DVD set 25. We got 25, 10, 5, 10, 15. We got $10 bid, no 15. $10 bid, no 15. Anybody else $50? $10 bid, no 15. Anybody else $50? $10 bid, no 15. Last call 15. Call them half. $10 bid, no $12.5. $10 bid, no $12.5. Anybody else $10 bid, no $12.5. $12.5. $10 bid, no $12.5. Anybody $12.5? $12.5. 15. I got $12.50 bid, no 15. And $12.50 bid, no 15. Anybody else $15? $12.50 bid, no 15. Anybody else at 15? So we're back here, 12.5. Right back there. Thank you. Not 20. I can set 20, not 25. Now 25 and 20, not middle 5. 25 and 25. Now 30. Now 30 and 25, not middle 30. And 25, not middle 30. Anybody else at 30? Bit of history here. 25, not middle 30. Give me 27 and a half. 27 and a half. I get 25, 27 and a half. 27 and a half. Now 30. Now 30. Every time it goes. 30, 30, minimum 30. One more time. Now 30. 30. Now 32 and a half. 32 and a half. We got $30 middle 2 and a half. Anybody else at 2 and a half? So $30 over the front here. Thank you for your help.
30.
Two Rick Piebald Racing Team glasses, ladies and gentlemen. On the drinking glasses here, how many dollars on the glasses? For the pair of them, good enough on the glasses. How about $30 for the pair? How about $30 for the pair? Anybody 35 bids, 7.5. I can buy one bid with 7.5, not 10. And 27 bid to get 30. Now 2.5. 30 bid, not 3.5, 2.5, now 5. 35, we got 35, now 37 and a half. 37 and a half and 30. We got 37 bid to go 30, 32 and a half. 32, you're not going to find another bid, now 35. And 35 and 32, 5. Now 10 and a half. Now 7 and a half, 7 and a half, now 50. Now 50, now 52 and a half. We got 2 and a half, 2 and a half, now 5. 55 and 55, 57 and a half. Now 60. Now 60, we put the 60. 65, 65, then 70, then 70, 65 over the next one. We got 65 over the next one, 70, now 75, 75 and 80, 75 over the next 80, we got 75 over the next 80, 80, 80, everybody over the 80, 75 over the next 80, 75 over the 80, now 85, 85 and 90, and 90, 85 over the next 90, 85 over the next 90, over the next 90, that's called 90, 85 over the next 90, what's he say, well? Now 95. Making it even 100. Now making it even 100. Easy 30. No taxes here, folks. That's like 120. And we got 95, 100. 95 on the video room. 95 on now 110. 110, 100 to 110. 110, 120. 110 on the video 20. 110 on the video 20. Anybody else at 120? So we get ready. $110. Thank you very much. NASCAR West Couple Dominion and Martinsville, Virginia in 1974. Made by Austin Raceware. There's over 24 hours of embroidery work in this seal road, ladies and gentlemen. Of carving on the back of the maple leaf, all the signs on NASCAR. Very, very collectible racing here, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me what you're willing to pay. One of a kind. It's a replica, exact replica, made by Awesome Raceware. How many dollars on this? Who can be $1,000 on the suit? How about 10 on the suit? 10, 10, 8. I'm right. Here we sold, ladies and gentlemen. How about 800? 800 on the suit. It's a replica suit. How about 800 on the suit? 500. 300 bid, 4. I got 300 on the 4. And 300 on the 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and 5. I got 400 on the 5. I got 400 dollars in the 5, 5, 6. I got 500, now 6. I got 500 dollars in the 6. 500 dollars in the 6, 6 million, 6, 8 million, 6, 6, 7, 7. We got 600, got 7. Now 8, now 8, 8, now 9. 9, we got even around in the 9. 9, then 10 under. 10, 10, then the 1, 10, 10. I got 900 dollars in the 10. 900 dollars in the 10. He got 10, now 11. Now 11, 10 hundred dollars in the 11. We got 10 hundred dollars in the 11. He got 11. I got 2 at 10, now 11. 11, 11, 11, now 12. I got 1100 dollars in the 12. 1100 dollars in the 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. We got 1100 dollars in the 12. 12, now 13. 1200 dollars in the 13. We got 1200 dollars. One at a time, folks. 1200 now 13. 1200 dollars in the 13. 1200 dollars in the 13. One to 13 anymore. Give me 1250. 1250. Put it with the rest of the memorabilia. How about 1250? How about 1250? Anybody want 12? We got 1250. 1250. We got 1200 dollars in the 1250. 1250. 1200 dollars in the 1250. We got a last call. 1250. We got 1200. No taxes. No buyer's premium. 1250. We got 1200 dollars in the 1250. 1200 dollars in the 1250. Anybody else at 1250? One more time. 1250. 1250, 1250. So over here, $1,200. Men in the blue hat there, folks. How about $20 on the frame print? 20, 20, 20. Give me 5 bids, 7.5. We got $5 bid no 7.5. $5 bid no 7.5. Anybody else at 7.5? $5 bid no 7.5. We got $5 bid no 7.5. I'm going to have a picture, 5, 7.5, not 10. 10, I get some 50 bid no 10. 750 bid no 10, 10, 5, 10. All the money goes to the store, fly, folks. 750 bid no 10. We got 750 bid no 10, 10, 10, 10. Anybody else at 10? 750, 20, not 30. I got 20 on 5. 20 on dinner 5. 20 on dinner 25. Anybody else at 25? 20 on dinner 25. 30, now 35. 35, now 40. I got 35 on dinner 40. 35 on dinner 40. 35 on dinner 40. 40, 40. Last call 40. 30, now 35. 35 and 30 on dinner 5. 30 on dinner 5. 5 dinner 5. Anybody else at 5? So right here, $30. Anybody else have any? $15, $17 and a half. 17 and a half. By the lane, 15, 17 and a half. So your way well, $15. 50 bid. We have 50. Regardless of number signs of color, we have $50 bid. We got the signed picture. Any idea? You guys all know white. He's got a big head. How many dollars on the 50? 50 bid. All right, I got 50 bid. 60. You want to carry it on? 55, now 60. We got 55 on the window, 60, now 70. Now 70, we got 70, 65, 65, now 70, 70, 75, 80, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 70, 80, 200, 225, 250. 250, we got 225 bid on 250. 225 on bid on 50. 225 on bid on 250. Anybody else at 250? We got 200, 250. Now 75. Now 300. 300. We got 275 on bid on 3. 275 on bid on 3. 3. Anybody else at 3? 275 bid on 3. We got 275 bid on 3. Last chance. 300. 275 bid on 3. 3. Thank you for your help. So back here, $275. Thank you. 10, 10, 5. 5, 7, we got $5 in your 7.5. $5 in your 7.5. Anybody else in 7.5? $5 in your 7.5. $5 in your 7.5. Anybody else 7.5? $5 in your 7.5. Anybody else? 7.5. We got $5 in your 7.5. Richard Petty has a saying, don't drive and drink, stay a little break. Bourbon whiskey. Those are your big there. All the bourbon, all whiskey, all the seal, it's sealed here, never been opened, ladies and gentlemen, 80 birthday British whiskey. $100. $100 on the bottle of whiskey. Anyone want to start with? Give me 25. How about 25 on the bottle? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. I got 120, 30. I got 120 on the front of the red shirt, now 30. 120 on the middle, 30. I got 120 on the middle, 30. Not 40, not 50. 150, 160, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 180, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 190, 210. We get 200, first item now in line boxes. How many dollars on the Pepsi shirt? $10. How about $10 on the Pepsi shirt? And $10 on the Pepsi. Give me $5 on the Pepsi shirt. How about $5 on the Pepsi? 7.5, 10, 10. I got 7, I think I'm 10. 10, I got 7, 12 and a half. 12 and a half, 15. 15, I got 12 and a half, 15. Oh, I got it in the 15. Now 17 and a half. Now 20. We got 17 and a half, bid now 20. 17 and a half, bid now 20. Everybody else has 20. 17 and a half, bid now 20. 20. 22 and a half. We got $20 in the 2 and a half. $20 in the 2 and a half. Anybody else has 2 and a half? Now 25. 25 with the Pepsi. 25. Now 7 and a half. 25 in the 7 and a half. 25 in the 7 and a half. Anybody else has 7 and a half? Now 30. Now 30. I got 27 in the video 30. 27 in the video 30. Anybody else has 30? 27 in the video 30. So right down here, 27 fifth English here, you can always use an extra suit. I got 300, 4. We got 300 in the 4. 300 in the 4, 4. We got 300 in the 4. 300 in the 4, 4. Anybody else up there? 300 in the 4. 300 in the 4. Now 5. 5. Now 6. Now 6. I got 500 now 6. 500 in the 6. We got 500 in the 6. Now 7. Now 7. 600 in the 7. We got 600 in the 7. 600 in the 7. Anybody else in 7? 600. 7. Now 8. 700. Now 8. 700 in the 8. We got 700 in the 8. Anybody else in 8? 700 in the 8. 700 in the 8. Anybody else in 8? 700 in the 8. All done. So over here, $700. And wide. Hey, listen to this. 20 bucks. 15, 20, 20. I got 15, 20. I got 15, $15 in the 20. 15, $15 in the 20. Anybody else at 20, 20, no, 25. 20 in the 5. 20 in the 25, 25 or 30. I got 25 in the 30, now 35. 35 and 40, 45. I got 45, 50. 50, 60. 60. I got 50 in the 60. I got 50 in the 60. Anybody else at 60? 50 in the 60. That's $60. Now 70. Just about. Just about. 70. Now 80. 80. Now 90. Now 90. 80. Now 90. 100. 100 in the 10. 100 in the 10. Now 10. 100 in the 10. 100 in the 10. 100 in the 10. So the gentleman down here on the 10. 100 in the 40. Let's keep listening to somebody. Maybe go come. But anyway, here's the cushion. Here's the cushion. Just so we can take it. How about $5 for the cushion? How about $5 for the cushion? Is it $5 Is it over $5 on the cushion? On the ground, speed, on the challenge here, folks. You got Dale, Terry, and Jeff all in a row as the fans watching them. On the challenge, how about $30? How about $30 on the challenge? 30, 30, 30, 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. We got $10 in the program. $10 in the program. Everybody else is going up. $10 in the program. $10 in the program. Everybody else is going up. $10 in the program. $10 in the program. Everybody else is going up. Last call program. Beautiful thing. Get ready for $10 in the program. Last call program. $10 in the program. So you're waiting $10. E9. How about $20 now? How about $20 on the post on the show? In there, 20, 10, 5, 7, I got 5, 7, 10. 10, 15, 15, I got 15, 15, I got where you got the money, bro? I got 15, 79, 70 and a half, we got $15 in the 79, $15 in the 79, anybody else 79, $15 in the 79? Then we got the lady in the 15, 70 and a half, ladies in the 15, 79, anybody else 79? So the lady right there on the little table there, $15. Thank you very much. Highlights of the show that are suits. We have a side panel here off the number 21 Works from the 2002 Winston Cup car driven by Elliott Sapp. This will be the only one of the counties, maybe the province, that will release. Successful bid, original, genuine side panel of a Elliott Sadler driven car. There was a straight up in the front corner, Rumors are maybe somebody thinks deal, somebody might have done that and can't verify. Beautiful side cattle here, ladies and gentlemen, for another $500. $500 on the side, $100 started. How about $100 on the side cattle started? 100 people, 100 on the side cattle, 150 minutes, so we got. We got $50 bid or 60. $50 bid or 60, anybody else at 60. $50 bid or 60. Then 60, now 70. Now 70. $6 bid or 70. $6 bid or 70. $70 bid or 70, anybody else at 70. We got $6 bid or 70. $6 bid or 70. On the side, now $6 bid or 70. And look, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrong. $6 bid or 70. $6 bid or 70. $7 bid or 70. Anybody else at 70? $6 bid or 70. So we got the back there, Mr. Gould, $6. I get $500 into $550. $500 into $550, even over $550. We got $500 into $550. $500 into $550, even over $550. On the 50 suit, $500. Coca-Cola suit here, folks. $550. So $500 suit. We have the week for, we have a booth over here. On the big suit over, $500, $550. We got $500 into $550. $500 into $550. Anybody at $550, anybody else at $550. $500 into $50. Last time $550. We have $500 into $50. Over $50. $550. We have $500 into $50. Last time $550. We have $500 into $50. Turn right over here, $500. Thank you. People say we're not paying. Some people did not pay. Some people did not pay. Pay karma, pay labor, some people did not pay. Pay money, some people did not pay. Labor, some people. Some people did not pay. Pay lunch, $10. So we are ready in front of 750. Number 29 is the Deluxe flag here. It's a 3 by 5 inch NASCAR flag. 3 foot by 5 foot flag. Hanging on the wall. On the NASCAR flag, Burley, so we get a $50 for it. How about $50 on the flag? How about $50 on the flag? Into a 50, 40, 30, 10, Saturday 10. On the NASCAR flag. How about 10, even on the 10, 10 with the 10, even on the 10, 10, 5, 10, 10, 5, 10, 7, we're going to find out, we're going to 7, I got a little 7, everybody else, 7, I got a little 7, everybody else, 7, I on the flag, 7, I got a little 7, that's all 7, $5, $5, $5, $10, and 50 and 17 and a half. 20, ladies and gentlemen, this is a throwback. Even I'm not old enough. But anyway, vintage picture, vintage photo, we brought it in there. We have raised money for this items that we're selling today. On the vintage photo, ladies and gentlemen, one of a kind, and never have another one, starting away at $50. How about 50 starting away? 25. 25 is starting away. Some of you guys can remember this. 25. 25. We're going to run the 20. Can't be a phone around. We're going to get another one. We're going to run around. Anybody else on the phone around? 15. 15. 70 and 70 and 20. And 20. I get 17, 20, not 25. 25 to 30. I get 30, now 35. 35, we get 35, now 40. Now 40, we get 40, now 45. Where we go? We got 5, 5, 45, there's 50. And 50, and 50, and 55. 55, we get 50, now 55.